I've been working on specific parts for a race car, and I'm at this point in time where I need to be a little bit more precise with my alignments on the race cars because they go a little faster, blah blah blah. The hub stands come in place like right away. Hub stands make your life easier when you're doing the string alignment method or similar. It gives you full access to your suspension so that you can set your settings. So let me show you what I'm talking about. This is my hub stands that I designed. So it's fairly easy. I wanted to make it as simple as possible, inexpensive as possible, that will perform the work that's needed to perform. So it'll be more accessible, because even the cheapest hub stands, you're looking for like $1,000 for a set, which is ridiculous for what they are. So here's my solution. Right. So what do you get in my kit? Well, you get the hub stand, which is this part, and you get this pivot plate that goes together with this. Some of the features of the hub stand. This is the part that bolts onto the hub, hence the hub stand, because it's a stand for a hub. There you go, easy enough. And you have a bolt pattern here that it'll accept 4x98 up to 4x125 with the 12mm bolts or studs, whatever, and 5x98 to 5x125 with a center bore of 78mm, I believe. I can double check, but it's roughly there. So it accommodates like pretty much 95% of the vehicles out there. If you have something special, this can be easily modified to whatever you need. There'll be an option for you if you like the standard, or modify it to whatever spec you want, whatever your vehicle is. You maybe have something specific that you need, so easy to do. You also get two right here, quarter by 20 threaded holes to put your alignment rod in. Whatever angle, piece, whatever you need. That part is you're gonna have to get from hardware store. It's easy to do. It's a 3-foot rod or something like that. I'll go over those details later in more detail as needed. What you need to get? Well, you're gonna need to get this board. This is a PVC board, and this is the one I got. It's a PVC board 3/4 by 9¼ 8-foot long, and this is from Royal Timber. This is it. Home Depot, Lowe's, whatever, Ace has them typically. It's just for Lowe's. I calculated this to be one of the cheapest options available, and it's just easy because it's one piece that you need. One of these boards is enough to do all 4 wheels. You make the bottom plate. This sits on the ground. Then you take the bracket and you bolt it up to the top plate. And I purposely made it smaller than the top so I can see where it's at very easily. The other part is you need is some grease. This grease is what you need. Even oil will work, but grease is better because it's more viscous. It won't go anywhere. Just put like a teaspoon on it, and that's all you need. Just spread it around. The other part you may need is this, like a wheel spacer. The wheel spacer. Well, the problem is, depends on your brake setup. In this particular condition for the Honda Element, the brake is proud of the surface of the hub, so where you bolt on the wheel. So when you put the hub stand on, it interferes with the brake, so it doesn't work. So you need to put some sort of spacer so that you have some space in between. One of the things that you kind of have to do on a lot of vehicles is that you could lift it up, no problem, but if you unload the suspension, then when you put it back, like with a hub stand or with wheels, it has to be settled, which is the problem. You don't want to deal with that if you could avoid it. And to avoid it, you could lift it by the control arm. So you just lift the wheel under some load. It's not a zero load, but it's some load. So I'm just gonna slide this here. And you know, your car varies, so make sure you do it safely and you know, be mindful of things. All right, like it. All right, so let's go up. And it's gonna fall off. So let me reset it. Like here. All right, that's much better. So, like I said, it varies car by car, and whatever you're doing, just a little bit more. And you have to be careful. If you have one already installed on the other side, it can easily slide as you lift the car. Even though the rear wheels are locked. So please be mindful and try to be safe. All right. Next thing, take off the wheel. Well, make sure the car is not going anywhere. See, it's free here. Okay. Ooh. Take off the wheel. You could put it under the car to be safe, but it's gonna obscure some view, so I'm just gonna put it to the side for now. Right, so here we have your typical suspension, right? Okay. Next thing, teaspoon of grease. Spread it around. Be generous. Spreading some frosting on the cake. That's all it is. Next, put the spacer on. And it makes it easier if you put this bracket in first. You can go either way. Sorry. You can go either way if you like, but it's easier to do it and it goes this way, where it goes through on the flange on the upside. Come on. Here we go. Needs to go up higher. It's almost there, but not quite. Okay. Right, now it's on. Alright, it's on. You have to rotate this thing so it aligns. The top bolt always has a bolt, the top portion, then your pattern. I'm gonna put the regular lug nuts back on, but you can definitely have an option, and I'll provide the link for the proper improved bolts or nuts that will help with this process, so you don't ruin your lug nuts, because you could ruin your lug nuts if you're not careful. Okay, I'm gonna set my gun on the lowest setting and just put them on. Again, just snug it up so you don't ruin your lug nuts. If you have the proper nuts, you can go wild. Okay, now roughly line it up. I'm gonna check the other side to see how much it shifted, so that when I put the car down, it roughly lands on the same spot. and shift it roughly this much. Right? The car goes down. Okay, dokie. And now you can shift the car roughly to where it's supposed to be. There you go. It's installed, you saw it in action, and you might be asking still maybe, hey, so what? What do you do with this? Well, I'm gonna show more detailed videos later, but for now, look at the full access to your suspension. Here's your tie rod, you can set it to whatever you need. Here's your bolts, you can adjust them. Whatever you have, if you have coilovers, you can mess with them. You can put your scales underneath of this thing, it'll work well. Yeah, so full access to your bits and pieces. And you can see how it's loaded. So, for example, another example you can use this for, once you put the suspension together, you're supposed to tighten all your suspension bolts while it's under ride height, so that the rubber bushings are not loaded incorrectly. There you go, it's under ride height, under full load. You can get to all of those bolts with ease to tighten it up. Easy peasy, I would say. In the future, I'll make a more detailed video, but I'm gonna make them available for sale